Hey y'all, what's up? This your girl Steph back at it again with the back at it again. Let me just say this is the second time I'm recording this video, but I'm holding myself accountable because I was like January 1st, 2026, I'm gonna be recording my first YouTube video. So if you're out here contemplating about starting your YouTube channel, you're not the only one, because I was contemplating for the longest, but I'm not letting this stop me. Why? Because earlier I thought I was recording and I was not recording. I was talking for at least 30 minutes and it was not recording, but that's okay. That's okay, because you live and you learn, and I'm learning from my mistakes. I do want this first video to mainly be about what my journey has been about and what I've lived, what I've learned, what I've been through, and that it's not easy and you're not always going to be motivated to do things, but that's whenever you cannot give up. You just got to keep going. At the end of the day, we're only here for a short amount of time, yes, but you got to do the best you can out of that short amount of time. Alright, so I've always been a very active person since I was little. I was playing soccer, I was involved into sports, never was a sedentary person. If anything, like they'd play a movie and I'm like, okay, I don't want to do this anymore, like I want to go outside and play. I was never the type to sit down for long periods of time. I was always very active and moving my body without really looking at it as a workout, you know? Ate what I wanted, didn't care what I was eating, like a normal kid should, you know? I was never a sweet type of person. I was more of like spicy con limon type of person. If you know, you know. My height is 4'11", but I never passed 100 pounds, even till the age of 17 years old. My whole fitness journey started when I realized that I was gaining weight. The only reason I realized I was gaining weight was because my dad, one day he came into my room and he was like, Stephanie, you're gaining weight. I was like, whoa, what you mean I'm gaining weight? And you know, it's coming from your dad, so that's somebody that is super close to you, so obviously you're not gonna take with the grain of salt. You're telling me I'm gaining weight, I must really be gaining weight. So I looked at myself and I was like, okay, yes, Stephanie, you are gaining weight. That's when I realized I had to do something about it. It was November 2019, I remember, because I told him and I was like, oh, it's okay, soccer season is coming around, like I know I'll be running, it'll go away, you know. But mind you, during this time I was going through a super hard heartbreak. My heart was shattered and my coping was not healthy at all. I was drinking, not sleeping, eating, like it was horrible. My weight went up and my dad, he just put the cherry on top. But since I knew at the back of my head, I was like, all right, soccer season's coming, I'll be all right, you know, I'll get back into it. Next thing you know, 2020, COVID hit, and if you know, it hit around January, and that's when my soccer season started. So there was no running, there was no nothing. And if you know, 2020 hit me and a lot of other people, because we were all just gaining weight, eating, staying home, doing nothing. I did a little home workout here and there, but it was nothing crazy. I was just like not feeling it, unmotivated, depressed, because I had just broke up with my 4-year ex. It was just horrible. So my weight was just and my mentality, I learned a lot from that heartbreak, and I'm so happy that I went through that at an early age. If I didn't go through that at that age, I wouldn't be where I'm at today mentally, because that made me 10 times stronger. Especially looking back at it now, knowing that I got over that. Yes, girl, you can do it. If you can do that, you can do so many things. I remember, like, I'd look outside and I wouldn't even be able to even look at the moon. Like, the moon right now looks beautiful, and I wouldn't have been able to acknowledge that back then, because I was just so into my head, just in my room, depressed, and I gained weight, right? I was home for like, what, 5 months? And then around August, I got this job opportunity in DC. I graduated 2020, by the way, so I didn't even have a graduation. If you a COVID baby and you were supposed to graduate in 2020, we ain't had no graduation. Y'all know what we did? We walked the stage and we got recorded. That was my graduation. Anyways, it is what it is. So I moved to DC, and the job that I was working at, it was a 24/7 job. My sleep was horrible. My bags were like printed under my eyes. I remember I was buying creams for my bags, like, girl, these creams are not gonna help you, you just need to sleep, that's what's gonna help you. I was on call, so if I got caught at 3 in the morning, you know I'm gonna be hungry by like 7 in the morning. So there I was eating a burger at 7 in the morning. Y'all know the gas stations, them little taquitos with steak and cheese, or with the little sopa marucha, with a little bit of hot sauce and lemon, that's what I would be eating at 2 in the morning. So of course my weight was not gonna get much better, and I'm not sleeping, so where's my health? Health is wealth, okay? That's when I was like, all right, you know what? We're gonna do something about it. So I started to meal prep. But at that time, y'all know what my meal prep was? I was over here meal prepping teriyaki noodles with chicken. Girl, you really think you're gonna lose weight over here meal prepping teriyaki noodles with I mean, yeah, the chicken was cool because, you know, protein. But teriyaki noodles, it was just not healthy meal preps. And at that time, I didn't know what macros really were, your intake, a calorie deficit. I didn't know nothing. So I was just consuming. Obviously, you do burn calories by just breathing, but it was just not a good balance. I purchased the course, I remember. It actually motivated me to continue to do it because it'd be like day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. I knew that when I did miss a day, I did not feel good. That's when I was like, okay, we're building this discipline, this consistency. And I started to do my own research about food, about what I have to be doing, and that's when I started to learn about macros. I started to learn about calorie intake versus the calories that you're burning, seeing how much my body needed with my height, my body weight. And if you know, you know that you have to eat at least 0.7 grams of protein per pound. I started to consume more protein, drink my water, get my sleep. Well, try to get my sleep because I was still working in DC. And then I was like, okay, like I like this. I like what I'm reading. I like what I'm doing. I like how this feels. I want to know more. So I purchased a personal trainer course. But since I was so busy, I was not able to finish it. And it expired, so I never did it. And that did suck, but because that was money to the trash, you know? It is what it is. 2025, Stephanie redeemed herself. And she got certified personal trainer and nutritionist. So, proud of me. Anyways, 2023 came around and then I moved back down to my hometown and I started to work as a teacher assistant. During this time, I was not really going to the gym as much because I was in school, working teacher assistant and helping my mom take care of my siblings. So I was not really giving myself that time anymore like I used to have in DC. So I wasn't really going to the gym. I wasn't really meal prepping. I was just eating what there was. And if you are a teacher assistant, if you've been in the school environment, you know we be having meetings for no reason. It'd be like, oh, Leprechaun's Day, let's do leprechaun cookies, everybody bring cookies. So obviously I was over here over consuming sweet, not saying no to things that I knew were not gonna help my fitness journey, but I felt bad saying no. So I was in that people pleasing mode, you know. So I gained weight. Once again, I reached 125 pounds, and it's not really much about how much you weigh, it's about how you feel. And I did not feel good. I felt sluggish. Yes, I was getting good sleep, but I was not, my energy was not up there. I realized that and I was like, girl, we gotta do something about it. But since I've already been through this process before, I knew exactly what I had to do. I went back to meal prepping. I planned out my workout split. I started to say no to things without feeling guilty of saying no, because you know you have to set your boundaries, your standards. Like, this is your life. So if you want change, you're the one that needs to do something about it. You can't move this finger because this is my finger, you feel me? So it's like, if you want to do something, only you can do it. And I started to feel better. And that's whenever the body recomp came in. I was like, girl, who is she? Felt good, looked good, confidence was on 1,000, getting my sleep, getting my water, and everything was just great, right? And that was in 2024. January 1st, 2025, I already felt great. This is no longer a goal. This is more of a lifestyle. I approached this with a different mindset, which was more of an athlete mindset. I wanted to try new things, learn new things, try new hobbies. I told myself, I was like, every single month, I'm gonna try something new. And January 2025, I tried yoga. That was the best decision I ever made. Well, honestly, that's one of the best decisions I've ever made because I felt longer. I felt flexible. I just felt so in tune within my body. My breath, everything just felt great. Yoga became a whole new habit. This was no longer oh, I'm gonna try this class. No, yoga was in my routine. I'd go every single Wednesday to that class. So if you've never tried yoga, I highly truly recommend it. So then I tried something new once again. Guess what it was? Pilates. I cannot forget that day either. I remember I was like, girl, what are you doing? Although you're not really doing weight, the resistance you feel in your muscles, it's a different type of strength. Next thing you know, summer comes around. I start riding bikes again. One time I did 10 miles with my dad on a bike. September was the first time I tried bar. Just that athletic mindset. Oh, let me also say, in December of 2025, I started running. And I did realize I did lose weight. but right now that's what I'm working on, being a hybrid athlete, which means that I will be running and doing weight. Yes, I was running and doing weights, but I was not eating the way I should have. That's what we're working on now, is rebuilding that muscle that was lost when I started running in December. And I did not realize how quick I lost weight. I was like, girl, be realistic about your goals, because if you set yourself some goals that you can't even hold yourself accountable, you're just gonna disappoint yourself. So just start off by drinking your water, getting your sleep, and eating properly. Don't worry about going to the gym, doing this, doing that, like, no. Focus on the small things first, and little by little you'll begin to feel more and more motivated to add on to your daily habits. Next thing you know, you're gonna be so locked in. You're gonna be like, who is he? Who is she? Yeah, exactly. Why? Because you stayed consistent. It's not about motivation, it's about discipline. Are you disciplined? Okay then. And then the better you feel about yourself, the better you'll feel about showing up for other people. So it's just a plus and a plus and a plus. If you're new to here, because y'all should be new, right? I just want to say welcome and thank you for watching. Thank you for joining. Thank you for being here. You know, this is like a dream come true. I always was like, look, Stephanie, you don't got time, or you don't have a camera, you don't have this, you don't have that. Just excuse after excuse. But I'm done. I'm 2026. No more excuses. My vision board is set. Like, I cannot do this to myself anymore. Mainly my channel will consist of health, fitness, emotional intelligence, just self-development, working on yourself, becoming the better version of yourself, because we're always living and learning, you know. That's what life's about. All right, y'all, that's it. That's all. Thanks for watching. Log in, okay? 2026 can't have nothing on us.